Okay, shalom, shalom. Kwam Yasha Allah. Koholoim La Yahweh, Bahashim Yahushai, Bahashim Rakahadash. And double honor to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well, and that by the Spirit taught us this beautiful truth. And just want to say the water to all the H.I.M and Akwaf that's out here sincerely keeping the laws, the statutes, and commandments of Yahweh Bahashim Yahushai to the best of their ability. This is Yachanan Nawach. It's coming at you with another quick lesson, praying that it's edifying by the Spirit. And, just seeing the fall of our enemies, man, is joyous. It says, Iran war gave China, Russia real-time look at U.S. military gaps, Wall Street Journal reports. And they have 41 sources on this. I mean, it's Perplexity app again, little version of, I guess, Android chat GPT or whatever the fuck. It's one of these AI, though. But they have 41 sources on this, so any of you brothers want to get into it, I'm sure if you just type that in, you know what I'm saying? Or you could just put in Wall Street Journal. They have it Middle East Eye. They have it in Kurdistan 24. We always like to stress to the brothers, grab up on some of that alternative news. They have it in Fortune, Fox News. They be on some bullshit a lot of the times. But as you can see, the Wall Street Journal was pretty much the one that I'll check it out in. But, as you can see, it's sources to it. They have a couple of bullet points on it, 3 bullet points. It says China, Russia, and North Korea monitored U.S. radar frequencies, interception protocols, and AI-driven operations during the Iran conflict, according to the Wall Street Journal. And so, America right now, with Trump, they want $1.5 trillion, for new defense spending. And they're going to need it, but it's not going to help. Because, see, the Lord is exposing them. You Edomites, you see that pride. Matter of fact, let's get that scripture on pride real quick. Because pride, I'm going to come back to this Obadiah. But Proverbs 16 and 18. Here you go, on your 250th anniversary, you've been exposed. Your enemies know your tactics. They know your weaknesses. And you really don't have no strengths right now. And then at the same time, too, your citizens are disgruntled about all these high-ass prices that they're paying at the pump and paying on groceries and just their living situation in general. So your 250th anniversary is going to be, a whack-ass birthday. Straight up. And we're praying for the fall of this place, man. Proverbs 16 and 18, it says, pride go up before destruction, and an haughty spirit before fall. Better it is to be humble, to be of a humble spirit with the lowly, than to divide the spoil with the proud. Yeah, and Esau, man, he has divided a lot of spoil, but these people are very prideful. And they never thought of their latter end. The scriptures talks about that, how they run throughout the earth, they do all these things, and they never think about the end of it for them. They just thinking that things are just going to carry on. This is a bad look for America. And then at the same time, too, you got Pete Hegseth, he's firing generals, and they're getting rid of military, men that have experience, far more experience than him. You got a lot of different, all these scandals they got going on. They still on their asses about them Epstein files. So it's not looking good for America right now. Okay, so it says, let me get that one back again. It says China, Russia, and North Korea monitor U.S. radar frequencies, interception protocols, and AI-driven operations during the Iran conflict. The next bullet point they have is Iranian drones reportedly disrupted THAAD radar systems in Jordan and in the UAE, drawing particular interest from Moscow and Beijing, per the journal. Yeah, because, of course Moscow wants to know about this. Of course China wants to know about this, because they were the ones that were actually supplying, information. They were, supplying the sites where, certain American infrastructure was, and plus they're supplying Iran with weapons. So it's hey, it is what it is, man. And you Americans, and then with Trump talking shit, he's taking these troops out of Germany. He's supposedly be starting off with 5,000 troops he's taken out of Germany because he's mad with the chancellor over there. Like, just making real quick, hasty moves. You know what I'm saying? You're not supposed to be that way. And he's not listening to his advisors as well. Because, either that or they stupid as hell. Because I know some of those advisors that was with him before, the reason why a lot of them are being fired, so to speak, is because they're just not giving him the information that he feels like he should have. They're telling you, nigga, you gonna lose. This is not a wise decision to make. This is not a wise move, and he's not listening. So he rather just fire the more experienced people. These people have experience at war. You got generals 5-star, 4-star. Trump ain't never been in no fucking war. This nigga done draft. He done dodged all them drafts. He ain't been in no war. And you just moving off impulse and just making all these stupid ass decisions. But that's a beautiful thing. We're not tripping on it. Okay, but it says a CSIS analysis found the U.S. burned through roughly half its Patriot and THAAD interceptors stockpiles in 7 weeks, with restocking expected to take up to 4 years. No, we ain't got no 4 years. We're praying that we out of here, man, this year. Shit. So, this man, let me just get the scripture. One of my favorites that come out. Well, we're just witnessing the fall of our enemy. This man is making real stupid ass moves, man. And really, you know what? That's the Lord. Let me get that. Let me grab that real quick in Proverbs. Proverbs chapter 21, verse 1. It says, the king's heart is in the hand of the Lord, as the rivers of water. He turneth it whithersoever he will. So the Lord is the one that has these people making these moves. All these leaders, the Lord is in control of the Chinese leader, the Russian leader, Trump, the North Korean leader, all these different people that are in power. The Lord actually placed them in power, and he's the one that's moving their mindset to do what he wants them to do according to his word and his will and prophecy. Right? Matter of fact, let's get this in Job. What is it? Job 33:15, it says, in a dream, in a vision of the night, when deep sleep falleth upon men, and slumberings upon the bed, then he openeth the ears of men, and sealeth their instruction. See that? That he may withdraw man from his purpose, and hide pride from man. Right? So the Lord is the one that, gives these leaders their instructions, and they have to do it. And what's that one that talks about who can resist his will? I think that's in Romans. Is that Romans 9? Is it? Yeah, Romans 9, I think it is. They can't resist his will. This is how we know. This is why we know you don't have free will. Let me see, where is that at? Oh yeah, it's verse 19. It says, thou wilt say then unto me, why doeth he yet find fault? For who hath resisted his will? Nay, but, O man, who art thou that repliest against Yahweh? Shall the thing formed say to him that formed it, why hast thou made me thus? So you can't resist the will of the Lord, man. But you got Esau, the so-called white man, that's their biblical nationality. He has fooled the world into thinking that, your choices, you made bad choices, you made good choices, you know what I'm saying? Go to college, do this, the American dream, you have free will to be the best that you can be. No one can stop you. No one, but no, the Lord is the one that maketh rich and make it poor. He's the one that bringeth up and taketh down. He kills, he makes alive. There's not a sparrow that's going to drop to the ground without the will of the Lord, man. And it's the same with you Edomites, you prideful ass Edomites. See, that's pride that when they're making all these projections for, they'll tell, like Esau, he'll tell you he's going to do something by 2050, and he really serious about it. In 2075, we're going to be here, and we're going to be doing this, and we're going to be doing that. And you'll never hear them say, if it's the Lord's will, we're going to do this or that. That's why it's important to say, if it's the Lord's will, we're going to be here, do this or do that. You got people making plans and shit for next week, making plans for next year. I want to, I'm going to be here and be serious about it. They're not saying if it's the Lord's will. Okay, but let's go to that one in the Apocrypha I wanted to get real quick. It's a beautiful thing to see this man fall flat on his fucking face. And they're so prideful, they can't just pull back. You know, they can't say, well, hey, we'll take the L. No, you know, we lost that one. You know what I'm saying? This man has nowhere near the mindset of good sportsmanlike conduct. Because good sportsmanlike conduct, you're just going to be like, hey, good game, man. You won. You know what I'm saying? Maybe next time, next, whatever, you know. But anyway, this is Ecclesiasticus 25:7. It says, there be 9 things which I have judged in mine heart to be happy, and the 10th I will utter with my tongue. A man that have joy of his children, and he that liveth to see the fall of his enemy. And that's what we're witnessing right now. We're witnessing the fall of our enemy. And Esau, he's being exposed, bro, on a level that, you know, he has never been exposed before. Let's go back to that Obadiah real quick. Yeah, the man's skirt is being lifted. Obadiah chapter 1. Matter of fact, it's entitled, Edom will be humbled. The vision of Obadiah, verse 1. Well, it's only one chapter here. So Obadiah 1:1, it says, the vision of Obadiah. Thus saith the Lord God, Yahweh, concerning Edom. And that's the biblical name for these so-called white people. We have heard a rumor from the Lord Yahweh, and an ambassador is sent among the heathen. Arise ye, and let us rise up against her in battle. Yeah, everybody ready to get on you Edomites' ass, because the Lord has proclaimed it, man. Right? It says, behold, I have made thee small amongst the heathen. Thou art greatly despised. And you are greatly despised. People, man, you especially you Americans, you are the most hated group of people on the planet. And see, when they get to talking America, they already know who they're talking about. We know who they're talking about. They're talking about you so-called white Americans. They may say America, or, you know, but, you know, all these people that live here, you know, they have the same mindset as the ruler of this place anyway. But when they're really talking about, you know, the ones that's greatly despised, is really talking about you Edomites, because you're the ones that's in power. You're the ones that's making all these moves. Okay, but verse 3, it says, the pride of thine heart hath deceived thee, thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rock, whose habitation is high, that saith in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground? And this has been the mindset of you Babylonians over here in the Americas. You Edomites, you're just prideful. And so, again, like the scripture says, you know, pride cometh before destruction, and a haughty spirit before fall. You are nosediving right now. Verse 4 says, though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, and though thou set thy nest amongst the stars, thence will I bring thee down, saith the Lord. So the Lord is bringing you down. You know, you do have your nest set amongst the stars. You know, you out there with your international space centers. You talking about these moon fly arounds and shit. You talking about how you're gonna go and colonize this on the, you know, you all out, you just all out in space junk and shit. I was watching something yesterday on the news where they got with this one guy. I guess he was calling it a space vacuum, and it was showing how, you know, the thing just kind of moved throughout space and pick up on, just dragging in trash, man. Because you'd be surprised at how much shit is out there in the space, man, that Esau's put up there. All these satellites and all this other shit, just space debris. Just like all the plastic is in the oceans, he's got all kinds of trash in space, man. You can be sitting out in your yard, man, in a fucking something from one of his old ass, satellites can come crashing down on you and your family while you in the backyard barbecuing. This man gotta go. Okay, but anyway, that was the point on that. Matter of fact, let's get verse 6. It says, how are the things of Esau searched out? How are his hidden things sought up? Yeah, man. All the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee and prevailed against thee. They that eat thy bread have laid a wound under thee. There is none understanding in him. Yeah, so y'all asses is through, man. Shall I not in that day, saith the Lord Yahweh, even destroy the wise men of Edom and understanding out of the mount of Esau? Because they're doing doofy shit. There's no wisdom here. You look at Donald Trump, man, that dude, if his vocabulary is beyond 40 words, I'd be surprised. He say the same fucking words. You know? There's no wisdom there. Then he got this whole cabinet of doofy dumbasses around him that won't say, hey, look, man, somebody need to snatch the fucking remote control out of his hand, and nobody would do it. It says, and the mighty men of H.I.M And thy mighty men, verse 9, and thy mighty men, O Teman, shall be dismayed, to the end that every one of the mount of Esau may be cut off by slaughter. And that's what's coming, man. And it's really, it says, for thy violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee, and thou shalt be cut off forever. This is what this is all about. The Lord is exposing you Edomites, and he's bringing you on trial, and all the evidence is being brought forth, and you can't hide from it. Your fingerprints are on everything. They got the weapons, the bloody, your blood, your DNA is all over the weapons. They got video on you. They got they got they done broke into your phone. They got the text messages, your emails. Spiritually, you're being judged right now. You know what I'm saying? And your sentence is about to come soon, man. So I didn't want to keep this long. I just, something that I seen, and that's why we say continue to pray for the downfall of Esau, Edom's kingdom, because don't think that our prayers are not going up and are not being heard. The Lord hear our cries, man. A part of this truth, a part of our job is prayer. This is one of our weapons. Because see what they have, they got carnal weapons. But our weapon is spiritual. Part of our weaponry is that prayer. Send those prayers up to Yahweh Bashim outside. Curse the fuck out of this man daily. Every time you see something you don't like about this fucker, throw up a quick quote, a quick prayer to Yahweh Bashim outside, man. This is beautiful right here. This is beautiful, man. Let's get this one in Kurdistan real quick. I'm gonna end out though. I just wanted to just see what they were speaking on. Okay, so this is the Kurdistan24.net. China, Russia monitoring U.S. capabilities amid Middle East tensions, Wall Street Journal reports. According to the reporting by the Wall Street Journal, the methods by which the U.S. defense systems engage threats, as well as specific vulnerabilities in regional military installations, have been increasingly exposed during recent attacks. Yeah, they watching you, man. Everybody's seeing you, and then they're actually saying that you haven't. You ran in, you done that Venezuela bullshit with Maduro, and see that right there really kicked in. That really turned up Esau's pride, because he was thinking that he was gonna be able to go into Iran and pull that same bullshit. But now you're starting to see, like, nigga, your ass through. Everybody in the world mad at you because you done ran up the prices on everybody's shit globally. Everybody looking at you with that side eye. And you Americans, man, all that traveling, you going to these other countries, you might want to stay at home. Because these other countries, they don't like y'all, man. See? Jump to this point right here. It says, according to the report by the Wall Street Journal on Friday by Timothy W. Martin, Thomas Grove, and Chun Han Wong, the methods by which U.S. defense systems engage threats, as well as specific vulnerabilities in regional military installations, have been increasingly exposed during recent weeks. In its reporting, the journal stated that these operational opportunities arose directly from the active engagement of U.S. hardware against sophisticated regional threats. Geopolitical observers noted in the report that the disclosure of U.S. operational signatures, ranging from radar frequencies to interception protocols, offers rival powers a rare, real-world assessment of American military readiness in a high-intensity theater. So they you come on, bro. Because all these nations they're already against you. North Korea, Iran, Russia, China, they're already against you. You can't even take down Iran, so how you gonna take down the rest of them? And then you ostracizing or you pushing away your allies. You talking about NATO? NATO didn't come help us out, so we can just we might as well. He's talking about pulling out of NATO. No, you need NATO, nigga, and y'all still weak. Even with NATO, so you're not gonna be able to do it yourself. And you doofy ass Jake, you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, you join this man military, your ass is gonna be smoked. You better let Esau fight his own wars, man. Let him go. Okay, it says the gathering of strategic intelligence by rival powers have been prioritized as a direct result of the recent conflict dynamics. So these other countries, all they got to do is lay back and watch you be destroyed. You're destroying yourself. And then by the time you want to try and displace some power, you're going to be so weak that they're going to crush your ass. It says the Wall Street Journal reported that the sustained nature of the tensions provided an environment where the operating methods and inherent weaknesses of U.S. defense systems and military bases were revealed through repeated engagement. A noted Wall Street Journal coverage, this data gathering effort is not limited to passive observation. Rival states have reportedly focused on how U.S. forces prioritize targets, the speed of their response, and the limitation of their integrated sensor networks. Yeah, man, they watching all y'all shit. It's like watching game film. You know what I'm saying? You know if you ever played a sport, football, you go over, you know basketball, you know who you gonna check, you watching, the plays that's being ran, who doing what, who has the speed, who has this, it's like, watching game film. It says, the newspaper emphasizes that this level of scrutiny follows a period where U.S. military posture in the Middle East was tested by a variety of asymmetric and conventional threats. The interest from North Korea and China is particularly focused on the efficiency of high-end U.S. missile defense platforms, which are also deployed in the Indo-Pacific region. According to the Wall Street Journal, the regional conflict served as a surrogate testing ground for capabilities that are central to global U.S. security commitments. Reported effects on air defense systems. Yeah, so it's quite a story, you know what I'm saying? But you can go into it. The basics is that Esau has been found out, man. You Edomites been found out. And especially when they found out that Iran got these little $10,000 to $20,000 drones, and it's costing you $12 million, for an interceptor missile. Like, you're being smoked. Your economy is going to shit because you're putting all this money towards this shit. They just said in that little congressional meeting, they was cornering Pete Hegseth's doofy ass, the so-called Secretary of War, and that guy's unhinged, man. And that's how you know that wisdom has left this place. Nobody like that should be in that particular position of office. But it's a beautiful thing because hey, it's working out. They're doing the exact thing. They're just pretty much they're shooting themselves in the foot. So they was questioning him about, and a couple other, people that was with him, questioning him about how much, it has cost the American people so far. And they was like, they said 25 billion, which that was just a roundabout, which we already know it's probably like 50 billion at that particular. So within these 2 months, America has spent, ain't no telling how much, man. And then you have to realize how much people spending at the pumps. These fucking gas prices is crazy work. So by your July 4th or your little 1776 250th year anniversary, your gas could be at $10 and you won't even be able to throw nothing on your grill, nigga. So that's what we're praying for. Let that shit go on up, man. So I'm gonna end out there. I pray that the lesson was edifying with that. Kwame Yashala and the Bible Ball.